I come to you defeated. Um, I didn't have a shirt on. I didn't feel like putting one on. It's 103 degrees outside. Plus, it's symbolism. Shirt off my back. Sorry for the taco meat. Um, where are we? Let's let's go back. So my vision always was to do content where we can openly talk, have fun, deal with pop culture. I love comics, I love movies, I love cartoons. Um, I'm a big fat kid, is what I am. Um, and I've been trying to do this probably for my son's gonna be 12, so about 16 years or so, 17, 18. I had a thing called Logic of Lame, which I was trying to do like Dawn of the Dead, kind of like the thinking of the nerds, like Logic of Lame. I just wanted the acronym LOL. Um, Back then, Hey Ash, what you playing was a big inspiration of like if they can do like these funny quick videos, so can we. And we did them, and they're actually really funny. A lot of people liked them, and the internet took, or YouTube just made erase them. They're gone forever. I think my cousin, who does the Best of His podcast with me, has an old computer that has some on there, but it's missing a lot of the good stuff. Or I mean, it's good stuff, but like some of the ones I really enjoyed are gone. Um, we try to push it. It's like it's lightning in a bottle. With what's gonna take off or what people are gonna get. For me, it was always about, yeah, I would like to get known, to get support, like enough to make money to get by and do my dreams. And then there's the part of the fame that you kind of want. I always tell people I wanted the fame of how I feel about like my favorite comic writer or my favorite artist. Like in public, they're not swarmed, but in a little group funneled down, they are, appreciated, and we would love to meet them and stuff like that. That's kind of where I always wanted to be. But so time went on. Had a kid. Well, got married, had a kid. In between that, I was still doing videos. I was using it was called a flip, and you could do little snippets. I was doing that, and that's why I did a lot of the Logic of Lame stuff. And but once time went on, I started to do a show for my son on YouTube, which now would be so outdated if he went back to it. We would have to change a lot because it was more catering to the younger age. A lot of unboxing of toys and things like that. But those days were really bad for me. I was always on antidepressants. I have been on them since I was like 18. I had horrible depression my whole life. But that's when it really hit, when I was like 18. But it was bad. But during that time, around when my son was a baby, my psychiatrist cut me off. He just dropped me as a client. I had no one else in my network. We didn't have good insurance, so I had no medication. With no medication, you get very, very sick. At this time, I tried weed oil, CBD oil, because I was afraid to get high. I don't smoke or do anything drug related besides what's prescribed for me. And that might have helped me not get seizures and stuff from dropping Xanax and dropping my antidepressant. But it was rough. So during that time, it's sad. You actually go probably to Geeky Goofball Fun Show, and there's times I'm super skinnier. That was a bonus. Super skinnier because I wasn't eating at that time, and I'm very antsy because I was constantly in a state of sickness and anxiety. So that sucked. I didn't leave my house for 8 months. I ended up still doing videos with my son because we were home. I was home on disability, and I had to do something to distract me. So I tried my best to play games with him, play video games. He's a monster at video games now. He's going to be 12, and this kid's insane. But yeah, so I tried to do things. I stayed in my house for 8 months, wouldn't leave. Going to the mailbox would trigger a panic attack. It was rough. It was really hard. But eventually, my wife threatened to divorce me because I was trying to make sure no one took my son out for babysitting just to get him out. I wanted him there all the time because I was afraid what I would do if I was alone. Which sounds really bad. So she was like, you're not putting our son through this. He's not going to be your crutch, He's not going to not be able to leave with his grandparents. You're not going to stop that. So the next day I went to a doctor. They thought I was going to have a stroke, how high my blood pressure was and all that. They got me back on the right pills, and I started to come back. Then I got enough, I don't know what you want to call it, courage or whatever behind me, where I opened up my shop, and then started doing videos again, but with my son, and then started doing my own. And we would record a lot of HeroClix games and tournaments. It was really small at first, doing the recording, trying to figure it out. It was a learning process. I'm really into filming and cutting and editing, and I don't know if you can go to my old YouTube and find those clips. But anyways, we're off running. We have a store. Within the 8 years I owned it, I ended up doing, we were Best There Is games. So we were like, let's do something with this. I had constantly wanted to do videos. That was just my thing. I should have shot like shorts, like in the comic shop. I don't know why I never thought of that, but we decided to do different things, and for me to bounce back, because I eventually left the store for a little bit, and I was like bad again. And during that time, to get me kind of going, we started doing Best There Is podcast. And if you go back to the first one, it's so bad. But sadly, our new ones look just like our old ones. It looks just like bad camera quality. The lighting's not there. We stopped doing lighting because it's just a lot of work for getting 14 views. Even this will get like 12 views, 10 views, if that. But I feel like explaining all what's going on in the hiatus to anyone that does care. But if you get to a point, my buddy Lucas joined us. We would always like kind of throw random people on. Then it became just me, Lucas, and Declan, who was always on our show. We were the group. That was us. And we would bring people on sometimes that were like customers or friends of the shop. And this is when we reopened the shop. We turned the shop into a studio. And we barely had product in there. I would sell some stuff, but it was all stacked on the walls high above where no one could see it. So we had a studio. So having a studio, it was called the studio. I mean, we called it the shop, but we were like, it was our studio. So again, I explained a lot of the hardships going through it just to understand why things went up and down with videos and stuff. So we were cooking at one point. We weren't getting like views, but we were doing well. How it looked like I've shown a million people at our peak what we looked at, like with our lighting, our camera work, our mics, everything. We were solid, good entertainment. People, if they gave us a chance, would listen to us and keep listening. If I know it in my heart of hearts, like we would have been big, but a lot of things fell apart. I got COVID. That was a huge thing. We used to do Best There Is Challenge, where we would like, it remind me of Mr. Beast kind of. We would do like fun little things. And there's some filmed very well. If you go check out some of the good ones, they're all like fun, but like there's some really well filmed ones. They're really cool. They're really well done. I was really proud of them. And we were gonna do one where like we're all gonna like rank Marvel movies and kind of battle it out until we figured out a definite list for our show or whatever. And by the way, I called all this Best There Is Entertainment because I wanted a umbrella over Best There Is Challenge, Best There Is Podcast, kind of to have like something over all of that. And I still to this day will use it, and I'll use Best There Is Podcast and Challenge if I ever go back to the Challenge. So we were gonna do the Marvel one, and that day I felt super sick. I remember going, guys, I just can't do this. I was waiting for one more person to show up to do the video, and I was like, I can't do this. I don't feel well at all. Got COVID. It was miserable. I ended up getting put on a, what is that? Is it a ventilator? I don't know. Like, put it down your tubes. I don't know. They're like, it's like when they're basically like, you're gonna die type of thing. That sucked, but thankfully got out fine, just scarred lungs. I probably talked about that before. So again, we stopped. My wife let go of the studio while I was out because she couldn't afford to pay the rent because I was out, and I would be the one in control paying the rent for our shop studio. So soon as I came to, because I was out like sedated really bad, for about, I don't know, 5-7 days. When I finally came to and my oxygen was back and I was in the clear, and I just had to kind of live it up, do the best I could the next few days and get better and better till I got out. During that time, I made a million phone calls to get everything back on track, my store back on track, the building back on track. I was on a walker at the time and an oxygen tank, so I kind of used that to my leverage, walking into my landlord being like, I need my store back. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna give it to someone else, they already want it. And I'm just like, please. And they gave it back to us. So we went back. It was a little different because I couldn't be there all the time. So a lot of the guys, thank all the guys, they went back and they helped me out because I couldn't be there all the time because my tanks were only like good for 2 hours and I didn't want to carry multiple tanks. Eventually I got off the tank. In tank, I mean for my oxygen. So we did like one challenge. We did a Blockbuster game, and it's really bad done, bad quality. We did it on an iPhone, no good lighting. That one we did while I was on the tank, but I think I took off my mask the whole time, or my tubes the whole time. I really wanted to get back to doing the podcast. I told the guys I want to get back, and they were very hesitant. And then this is where it came in, where Lucas was deciding to leave, and I was like, I get it. He kind of lost his heart into it, and he always did it somewhat for me. So it sucked because I love Lucas like a brother, and that was the hardest part, is not to have him there to talk to, because I got to see him every week. We did it. We filmed every week. And he made the time for us, and I appreciated that. And at that time, we had one of my nurses, who was my home nurse, who came and took care of me. We became friends because she liked all nerd things and stuff. She started to help me with the podcast, and she and Lucas started dating. Now they're engaged, so congratulations to them. That's awesome. But she ended up bailing out because of, Lucas gone, her gone. So it was just me and Declan again. We just had a revolving chair of someone there. My cousin probably filled in the most, my cousin Ryan. So it just made sense that we would put him there as the third person. And then we stopped doing guests. We just did us three. But it's good. I think it does have a different vibe than what it was before, because Lucas was a different character, I guess you would call it. He wasn't playing someone, but he was a different character, playing off Declan and me. Ryan's a lot different, so it's just a different vibe. So if people liked the old videos, and then they may not like the new ones, or vice versa, I think because it was a little different. Bester's challenge basically died out when Lucas and Camille left, because we would do them before. Then once they came in, Camille was really big behind them, really enjoyed it, and I kind of looked at her for ideas and things like that. But I think we might have done a few after, but mainly once they bounced out, the challenges kind of, and it sucked because we lost a lot of people, because you need people to do the challenge, and when you don't got a group of people anymore, it kind of sucks, because we were setting up things, and some of them had groups of friends that wanted to be part of it, and we were setting up like a Star Wars trivia or something like that, because we did the Office trivia as one of them, and it just all kind of fell apart. But again, it's just life, it's the way it is. Then we kind of, if you look in between, I tried a bunch of different things. I tried doing just quick little news bites, but those were a lot of work, more than I expected. I thought they'd be I could have been lazy and did a quick snippet, but any rumors and stuff, I would talk over it, but I would put pictures and images up, and it took a long time. And for some reason, Wondershare is my editing software, and it just, my computer's really, really good. It's just messing up on me. I don't know. I need to have all deep cleaning with this, and I want to get back to making videos. Don't know what kind, but so anyways, so basically, time went on. We would continue doing Best There Is podcast, and then we decided to add another one, because we realized we would go off and not talk about pop culture and talk about random stuff and just talk. And I enjoyed that. And watching a lot of these other podcasts that came out, I was like, yeah, this is kind of what people do nowadays. They just talk, and we did Life is Full of It, which I still have set up. I have Best There Is. I pay for not using it on my RSS code, and I'm paying for Life is Full of It because I don't know what I'm going to do right now. So we did that. Ryan, me, and Declan decided to do once a month for Best There Is, because it was getting harder for them to meet up every week. And we're doing it in my living or my dining room, so that sucked. And it just was, it's just disappointing, because you could do so much better, you can, but it's just a lot of work with no payoff. So you're just like, we can go all out. I could rent something for it, but I'm gonna waste money. Like, I was paying for our studio just to use for our podcast. I would sell through there, but I mainly was using it for our podcast, and I was paying monthly for that, and I was making no money. We have no sponsors or anything like that. So, hey, look at this. Wolverine's chest looks like mine. It's all hairy except for I'm fat. But he's got a hairy chest. Oh, I knocked over all my luchadors. Venom is probably one of the coolest ones, to be honest. I hate Pops, but certain ones I can't pass up. And luchador wrestlers, or luchador superheroes, hey, couldn't let go. So anyways, now we're in a bit weird spot again, where we haven't been doing either of the podcasts. Ryan's been ready to go for the Best There Is. He's been sending notes and on news. He keeps up with all the comic and movie stuff. And we were going to do stuff on Madam Web. And now that's already out on Netflix, which I watched, and it was, yeah. But another thing is, I have anxiety really bad and panic attacks. For my panic attacks, they gave me Xanax a long time ago. They gave it to me a long time ago, but they gave a lot to me when I got out of the house after 8 months when I didn't leave. They gave me a lot. daily I was taking a lot. And that was even up to recently, up to probably about 3 months ago. And that's the only way I could go do anything. And I still couldn't do some things. A lot of things I couldn't do, even on the Xanax. So I started getting to the point where I was having a dependency on it, where I didn't even want it for facing anxiety issues. I wanted it for my head was having pain, or it's basically cravings. I needed it to feel calm, relaxed. So then, as of right now, I'm weaning off it, and it's super hard. And again, I've talked about doing the podcast again, but I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard right now. Weaning off this is just horrible. I'm hoping there's a few ideas I have, because I always want to do something. I'm about to hit 40, and my whole life I wanted to do something. I wanted to be somebody. And right now I feel like a nobody, and I've always felt like a nobody. So it sucks. But along the way, I've been able to open up a store. I've been able to run these podcasts. I've been able to meet so many people. I mean, now they're kind of on their own and far from me, disconnected, but they still touch me somehow, not that way giggity, but I would never take it back. We could have got a house, which sucks, but my wife let me roll the dice on a store, and it was good. It was successful. We did really well. Even right now, I'm not doing too bad, and I'm just in the house. But I wouldn't take it back, because I've met so many cool, amazing people that I would have never met. And that is a huge thing. So, it's big. But again, I've done these things, but I still feel like a nobody. I want to be a somebody. And everybody throws the cliche, but you're a dad, you're a husband. I get that. There's a lot of dads and husbands, but I wanted to be more. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a director. I wanted to be a podcaster. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. And I can still do it. I don't know. It's just you gotta find, you gotta get lucky. That's what it is. You gotta get lucky. Because there's a lot of people out there that have no skill. And I don't mean to say that to be a jerk, but there are a lot. I mean, there's a ton of videos out there, but there's people that have no skill at all, that just talk and they're famous somehow, And I just gotta hope, if I try again, that something happens, which is disappointing. Like I said, going back to when we were cooking, man, I just thought, this is it. Like, I was trying to get really close, hoping to get like new rock stars' attention, something like that, to just get us known. But just didn't quite happen that way. And all these things happen in my life that I'm kind of the brainchild of all this because I want. I'm the one that wants this. Everyone else doesn't really want it. I wouldn't say they don't want it. If it happens for them, it's cool. My cousin, Declan, whoever. If it happens for them, cool. They're okay with it. But if it doesn't, whatever. They're having fun with me. For me, it's like do or die. I want it to happen. But right now, I just don't know what to do. My biggest thing is I need to make money, which I have side stuff I have that I'm working on, but I wish I could have done it in the way of sponsorships and things like that. Debating on getting like better mics and better maybe video or whatever to start making my own series again. But again, am I going to be wasting it? Am I going to be, is it going to be just fall on deaf ears and I don't get to do what I want to do? I mean, I do what I want to do, but at the same time, like, just you're a dreamer and that's it, and I dream hard. I've always wanted to do some kind of thing, some kind of entertainment. And again, 6 people might watch this. I don't care. I'm glad to get it off my chest and I'm glad to explain it. But yeah, I don't know what you got to do. You make one noise and you become a meme. And you become famous. And it's like this person's gonna make a career off this, We got people that have their own podcasts that aren't funny, aren't entertaining, but they get views, and we're in a different world. People will watch anything and everything, even if it's bad. Hate watching is a thing. So this is just explaining, if anyone did care about Life is Full of It, Best There Is podcasts. I don't see any of them ending, but I don't know if any of them are going to start again anytime soon because of me weaning right now. I want to rip my skin off right now, how this feels. Like, it's beyond horrible. And then on top of it, I got to get used to trying to go out without panicking, without a crutch. So who knows how hard this is going to be. Again, I do have ideas talking to people about changing how we do the podcast. Not doing it in my dining room here. Having a permanent spot with everything hooked up with lights, that'd be great. Not doing once a month, doing pop culture every week would be great. There's just a lot. So no matter what, I'm not going to stop doing something. I want to keep doing something. It's just hard. It's hard when you feel so old. Everyone reminds me like, oh, at 40 people did this and that. And it's just hard when you're... a lot's going on. And congrats to my wife. She's gotten into nursing school, so she's got that going, but it's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy time, and I depend on her a lot. She does so much for me. I love her for that, and it's hard. It's like she has another child. So that's part of it too. It's like if I figure out a way how to do the podcast somewhere else, she'd have to drive me because I can't drive because I panic, and I just have to figure things out. But that's what it is. Again, sorry for getting too deep about what has gone on through the years, but kind of needed to explain the fights, the tribulations, going through all these different things just to try to make it. I just have to have faith. More than anything, the first thing is me getting better, me getting out, me seeing a movie without having a panic attack. That'd be great. That's going to be the first line we're crossing. And then along with that, I could see what I could do from somewhere comfortable that I feel better, or at home, I guess you could say. But I plan not to stop. It's just right now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I'm not going to stop. And hopefully we'll get people around us eventually, and we'll make something of it, because my guys deserve it, and I would like to say I deserve it, but who knows. So if you watch this all the way through, thank you. This was just me venting about the entertainment, best there is entertainment, umbrella of everything, and where we're at and where I hope we go. But some things just got to be taken care of first, and hopefully we'll come back, we'll be stronger, we'll be better, and I'll have a shirt on. But if anyone did watch, thank you, and send positive vibes. This is really rough, and I'm hoping I can get to do some stuff that is fun, especially to distract me from all this. But yeah, thank you again, and hopefully things will be back somewhat new to the norm, but the best we can. Best there is. See ya.